Gay City going to the left of your going to your left-hand speaker right now. They're the away team. Their bench is right beside of me. And Compton is set to inbound. Gets the pass inside to a wide-open Sally. He scores again. John Sally has both of Gay City's points tonight. Very quickly, Gerald Robinson comes down with the ball. Reed steps in to try to draw the charge. And the whistle blows, but there's no indication. And they're going to get it. Gerald Robinson picks up his first foul. Excellent job by Reed stepping in and taking one for the team there. Dean inbounds it to Compton. Compton brings it across center line, feeling just a little bit of pressure from Logan Rogers. Dishes it back off to Bradley Dean. Dean looking for the open player, drives in instead. Looking to go to the baseline, gets the ball knocked out of bounds. Off of Dean last, so it's going to be Pirate basketball.
What kind of zone are they jumping into? Is it a 2-3 or 1-3-1?
It's a 2-3 zone, and they're kind of pulling out one of the players to kind of pick up the point guard that's coming across right now. The other one's staying down about the free throw line. So Gay City could possibly get some open looks. We've got a 30-second timeout right now. So if they can work it around, if they stay in that zone, they should get some open looks on the threes, which could play right into Compton and Reed and Georgia's strong suits.
So it's 4-2. Is that correct?
Score is 4-2 in the first period. Gay City leads. 6:20 to go in the first quarter.
Okay.
Port Charlotte now set to inbound. As soon as the referee decides to give the ball to Walter Johnson. Okay, now he inbounds it to Logan Rogers. Rogers brings it down. Passes it back across. Tremendous pressure by David George. Logan Closser goes up and lays it in. So it's 4-4 ball game. Immediately, Dean feeds it to Compton. Compton brings it down, trying to drive all the way in solo. Shot goes up, no good. And they're going to get him with a walk. Drug his back foot just a little bit, so it's going to be Port Charlotte basketball again. So the five for Gay City on the court right now. Bradley Dean, John Compton, Andrew Hensley checks in, as does Matthew Gose and Eli Starnes. Logan Rogers brings the ball back across center court, getting pressure by Compton. Passes it back over to Walter Johnson in the corner. Johnson back up to Rogers. Rogers feeds it across to Tyrus Platt. Platt drives in, kicks it back out to Logan Closser. Closser drives in for the layup. No good. Rebound Bradley Dean. Dean brings the ball down quickly. He's facing double-team pressure from Port Charlotte. Passes it back out to Compton. Compton for three. Bounced around 2 or 3 times, in and out. Ball goes to Port Charlotte. Towers Platt brings the ball down, passes quickly off to Logan Rogers. Rogers shoots for three, no good. It's going to be Gay City ball. So a very fast pace to start off the game. 5:13 to go. We're knotted at 4 apiece. Compton has the ball. A little bit of pressure from Logan Rogers. Nothing he can't deal with. Gets it across center court, passes off to Dean. Dean drives the lane, looking for the jumper, not there. Passes back out to Compton. Compton shoots. In and out again. He's had trouble finding that range down here, and the ball goes to Port Charlotte. Very quickly, Tyrus Platt thinks about it, pulls off instead, passes it out to number 14, Gerald Robinson. Robinson for three, shoots the air ball. Rebound, Bradley Dean. Dean drives down and immediately is fouled as he goes in. That's going to be on number 14, Gerald Robinson, and that's 2 on him about halfway through the first quarter. Dean dishes it out to goes Compton. Compton back to Dean on the right of the left-hand corner. Nothing there for Dean. He passes it to Compton. Compton back out to Starnes as they work it around. Starnes to Hensley, and back over to Dean. Dean drives in, looking for the dish to Gose. Gose goes up. Good. 6-4 now. Gay City leads with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Towers Platt brings the ball back down. Neither team wasting any time getting the ball across center court as Logan Rogers goes up. Shot is no good, and there's a foul. Foul's going to go against Bradley Dean, and that's going to be Gay City's first foul of the game.
Chris, it sounds like Dean's pretty active on the boards as well. How many rebounds does he have?
I've got him with all 3 of Gay City's rebounds. As the ball comes in, and Walter Johnson goes up for a shot. Shot is no good. Rebound, though, by Eli Starnes. Starnes races down the court with the ball, passes it off to Compton at the three-point line. Compton drives in, faces a wall of Pirates, passes it to Ghost. Ghost drives in, and they're going to say, I believe, that he dribbled out of bounds or traveled with the ball. Once again, as is usually the case, the officials were blocking my view. I seem to have a knack for that when I sit courtside. They've got me right beside the scorer's table. So it's handy when they call the fouls, but it's difficult other times. But that's all right. We'll get through it. As Sean LaFreens is checked in for Port Charlotte, and he passes the ball over to number 14, Gerald Robinson. Robinson gives it back out to Logan Rogers, and they're going to get Rogers with the travel as wholesale changes come in for Gay City. As soon as everyone checks in and sits down, I'll go through it. Looks like now we've got checking in number 15, Jacob Taylor, number 20, Dakota Howell, Bradley Dean still in, Isaac Vincent's out there, and Andre Mack. So that's the five for Gay City as Dean brings the ball in, passes it over to Isaac Vincent. Vincent gives it to Mack. Mack feeds it back out to Dean. Dean at the top of the three-point line looking for the shot, nothing there. Feeds it back to Isaac Vincent. Vincent goes in for the layup. In and out. I don't know how the ball did not drop. Rebound Pirates. Very, very quickly, Sean LaFreens has the ball down at the three-point line. He's looking to shoot. Nothing there. Vincent's going to have none of it. LaFreeze dribbles around, still being dogged by Vincent. Shots up, no good. Rebound by Jacob Taylor. Taylor passes off to Dean. Dean races down the court, pulls up for a three. Good from the volleyball line. Bradley Dean's first points of the game. It's 9-4, Gay City. As just that quickly again, Port Charlotte gets the ball back across center court. Logan Rogers has it, passes it off to Logan Closser. Closser feeds it back to Rogers on a streak. Rogers lays it in, so it's now 9-6. Before I can summarize all that, KC's got the ball back down again with Dakota Howell. Howell passes it back over to Dean. Dean looking to drive in, can't quite get there. Passes over to Jacob Taylor. Taylor back to Dean. Dean over to... Can't see who that is. It's checked in. Andre Mack's got the ball now. Passes it back to Jacob Taylor. Taylor looks to shoot. Passes off instead to Isaac Vincent. Shot no good. Rebound by Port Charlotte. Logan Rogers now has the ball back across. He's looking to shoot. Thinks better of it. Passes off to Alex Perry, who's checked in for Port Charlotte. Perry comes down to baseline. Thinks better of that with Vincent in his face. Passes it back out to number 22, Sean LaFreeze. Freeze feeds it back out to Logan Rogers. Rogers shoots a three, no good. Rebound, Vincent. Vincent fades it to Dean. Dean brings it down. Long court pass to Jacob Taylor. Taylor back to Dean. Dean for three. Shot's no good. Rebound, Sean LaFreeze. LaFreeze passes it over to Logan Rogers. Rogers just that quickly feeds it into Alex Perry. Perry drives the lane, gets the layup. So 1 minute to go, first quarter. It's 9-8, Gay City. Howell has the ball back across center court, feeds it over to Mack. Mack looks to drive in, kicks it back out to Vincent. Vincent back to Mack. Mack with the easy jump shot. That was a really pretty play. And before I can catch my breath, here comes Port Charlotte now. Alex Perry's got the ball, kicks it back over to Logan Rogers. Rogers back to Sean LaFreeze. Looks like they're holding out potentially for the last shot. 40 seconds to go. LaFreeze dribbles down the right-hand side, getting dogged right now by Vincent. Nothing there for him. Pulls up, though, from the free throw line, and the basket is good. As Vincent now has the ball back across center court, gives it to Mack. Mack at the top of the key, looking to drive. Can't get anywhere over top of Logan Closser. Brings it back out again. 18 seconds to go. Pass back to Isaac Vincent at the center court line. Vincent back to Mack. Mack gives it to Dean in the corner. Dean drives into the lane. Shots up. Good. And he's fouled in the process. 8.5 seconds to go. The bucket should count. And let's see who they're going to score it on. It's going to go on number 22, Sean LaFreeze, or LaFresne. I guess the announcer's correcting me. LaFresne. That's his first. And we've got some substitutions checking in. Back in is John Sally and David George. So Bradley Dean's at the line for Gay City's first free throws of the game. He eyes, first shot's up and good. 3-point play for Bradley Dean. That gives him 6 for the first quarter, and John Sally has 4. I think I missed a couple somewhere along the way. Oh, I forgot to mark Dondre Max. As the quarter ends with the ball going out of bounds off of a Port Charlotte player. So at the end of one, Gay City 14, Port Charlotte 10. Let's take a break and let me total up the scores.
You got it, buddy. All right, well, we'll be back again. You're listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
Colonial Funeral Home has a reputation for providing the highest quality of funeral services in our region with the personal attention and professionalism to help your family through the most difficult of times. The professional staff at Colonial Funeral Home is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance for every family with a focus on traditional service offerings, including traditional funerals, military services, grief support, and much, much more. You can also reach them anytime, day or night, at 276-386-6151. Again, that's 276-386-6151. Colonial Funeral Home is located in Weber City, Virginia.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.
Back to Chris Carr in Lemon Bay.
Excellent timing, Joe, as Luke Reed inbounds the ball for the start of the second quarter. Reed feeds it over to Compton. Compton on the right-hand side looks for the shot, not there. Passes off to Dean instead. Dean goes up for the three, no good, but rebounded by David George. George tries to go up, can't do it, passes back out to Dean instead. Dean has the ball looking to drive in, passes to Compton at the top. Compton back to David George. George dribbles, waiting set to play, passes over to Compton. Compton looks to drive in, pulls back out instead, shoots a three, nothing there. Rebound, though, by George. And George passes it to Sally. Sally back out to David George. George making his defensive presence felt here as he passes the ball to John Compton. Compton gives to Dean. Pulling in that same 2-3 zone, but they're pulling out to pick up the point guard. And we're going to have a foul, looks like, on number 44, Walter Johnson, and that's going to be his first. Dean set to inbound, tosses it back to Compton, back behind the three-point line. Compton dribbles around, dishes off to Dean. Dean looking to drive again, backs out instead, shoots a three, good. 17-10, Gate City leads. 6:47 to go before the first half. Logan Rogers has the ball down in the corner now for Port Charlotte. Feeds it back out to Alex Perry. Perry tries to pass to Johnson. Ball is tipped, but Logan Rogers comes down with it. Passes it back around to Walter Johnson. Johnson looks to drive in, and we have a whistle. See, foul's going to go on. Number 22 is going to be John Sally's first foul of the game. Only the second for Gay City. As Port Charlotte inbounds it, they're not wasting any time tonight. They must have dinner reservations. Back to Sean Lafresne. Lafresne passes it back over to Christian Stone. Stone goes in. We have another foul. That was going to go on number 14, David George. So that's 3 total fouls for Gay City, 5 for Port Charlotte. Alex Perry with the ball, passes back over to number 20, Logan Rogers. Shot is no good. Rebounded by Reed. Reed passes it back out to Dean. Dean drives down, shoots from just inside the three-point line, center court, no good. Rebound, though, by David George. His third rebound of the game. Pass it back out to Compton. Compton shoots. No good. And we have some contact. Reed gets up, rubbing his face. And they're going to call Sally with a push. That's 2 fouls on Sally now, really quickly here in the second quarter. As Port Charlotte again set to inbound. Very quickly, Matthew Ghostman just to check in, though, give Sally a break. Alex Perry inbounds the ball back to Logan Rogers.